Greetings, Lakers faithful. Today, we step onto the hardwood under the bright lights of NBA history to relive a moment when even the indomitable LeBron James faced a defensive wall unlike any other. You've come to know LeBron as the league's all-time leading scorer, a cauldron of talent that has racked up over 42,000 points and counting. His offensive repertoire, thunderous dunks, pinpoint passes, and clutch buckets has dazzled fans for nearly 2 decades. Yet despite those staggering numbers, he'll admit that there was one opponent who brought a level of physicality and relentlessness that tested him like no other. Cast your mind back to LeBron's early seasons when he was still wearing high socks and adjusting to life as an 18-year-old rookie targeted by veterans, eager to establish dominance. On a night in Indiana, a lanky forward in the Pacers' green and gold applied pressure with hands that felt like steel and shoulders that carved space without flinching. Ron Artest, better known today as Metta World Peace, centered that contest with a mission to unsettle the youngster from Akron by channeling a defensive ferocity few could match. He hunted LeBron's every move, poking at the ball, forcing contested drives, and using his weight with surgical precision. Watching them face off, you could see James recalibrating. This wasn't simply another defender to breeze past, it was an athletic obstacle bearing its teeth. LeBron himself described that matchup as challenging for sure, marveling at Artest's combination of quick hands and lateral agility that felt strong as an ox. On the Mind the Game podcast, he recounted how every time he thought he'd outmaneuvered his opponent, Metta reappeared, ready to disrupt angles and contest shots with an almost inhuman persistence. Even the Kings' trademark power drives and fadeaway jumpers required an extra level of craft to navigate. In that moment, a lesson was etched into LeBron's young mind. Greatness at the highest level demands both respect and adaptation when confronted by truly elite defenders, yet the respect was mutual. For Artest, the battle represented the culmination of his own journey from the playgrounds of Queens to NBA stardom. He had grown up in New York City, where every stop was a test against the toughest competition street ball could offer. Facing LeBron was another chapter in that narrative, an opportunity to pit his defensive wizardry against one of the most multifaceted scorers the game had ever seen. After the contest, Metta couldn't help but admire the resolve of the teenager who refused to shy away, instead pushing back with the same tenacity that had defined his entire career. That mutual admiration resurfaced recently on social media when the Hall of Fame-bound veteran caught wind of LeBron's praise. He took to Instagram with a heartfelt response. "Shout out to the king. I've respected you from day one. It was never about disrespect, only about competing at the highest level." His words echoed the sentiment that for those who thrive on competition, the line between rivalry and respect is razor thin. Both players, champions in their own right. Artest with his 2010 title and LeBron with 4 rings understand that adversaries on the court often become pillars of each other's legacies. Today, as whispers swirl around Metta World Peace's potential leap into coaching, that storied matchup carries fresh resonance. The same grit that once flustered an 18-year-old LeBron now serves as the foundation for a coaching philosophy steeped in toughness and resilience. And LeBron, still accumulating accolades and rewriting record books, still recalls that defining test from early in his career, a night when physicality met finesse, and when the groundwork was laid for one of the greatest careers in basketball history. So, Lakers fans, the next time you see LeBron glide through a defensive scheme or deliver a pinpoint pass, remember that every move is honed by contests like the one against Metta World Peace. Behind each highlight lies the echo of that first awakening to the defensive titans of the NBA. And as we celebrate the ongoing saga of basketball royalty, let us honor both warrior and king for the battles that shaped the game we love. And so the tale unfolds further as we shift from that defining duel in Indiana to the myriad ways Metta World Peace's defensive mastery and LeBron James's offensive brilliance have intertwined across seasons, venues, and pivotal moments. Following that early encounter, every time LeBron stepped onto the court, the specter of Ron Artest lurked in the background of his mind, a reminder that true greatness would not be measured merely by raw talent or statistical accumulation, but by the capacity to adapt when confronted with resistance that bordered on the relentless. From the Garden's roaring crowds to the intimacy of the Cavs' home floor, LeBron carried that lesson forward, refining his footwork, expanding his arsenal of counters, and cultivating an ever-deepening basketball IQ that enabled him to dissect defenses with surgical precision. Meanwhile, Metta's own journey threaded through triumph and controversy. the duality of his career mirroring the very tension between order and chaos that defines elite competition. His reputation for unyielding physicality on the boards and tenacious on-ball pressure was only matched by bouts of volatility moments when his fiery passion spilled over into altercations that echoed across the league, yet it was within that crucible of intensity that he carved out a legacy, forcing stars to earn every inch and reminding spectators that defense, often overshadowed by highlight reel dunks and buzzer-beating three-pointers, was the true bedrock of championship contention. As the years turned into decades, the NBA landscape shifted, dynasties rose and fell, playing styles evolved, and young phenoms emerged to challenge the status quo. Through it all, LeBron's career trajectory remained in constant dialogue with that early test set by artist. Whenever news broke of a new defensive specialist, be it the length and shot-blocking prowess of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the chameleon-like switches orchestrated by Kawhi Leonard, or the punishing physicality wielded by Draymond Green, fans and analysts alike would nod to the echo of Meta's approach, a template for frustrative defense that sought to bend offensive stars out of shape. LeBron, ever the student of the game, absorbed these lessons, tweaking his ball protection, mastering the art of momentum, and developing counter-defensive tactics so subtle that they'd escape notice until the instant he'd glide to the rim, unfettered, or deliver a no-look assist split perfectly between the defenders. Off the court, the respect between these two warriors remained undiminished. Whenever their paths crossed, whether in all-star charity events, championship ring ceremonies, or just casual conversations at league gatherings, there was an unspoken acknowledgement, passed through a knowing nod or a quick embrace. Meta, now exploring the next chapter as a coach, has often cited his battles with LeBron as foundational experiences that inform his coaching philosophy. He speaks of the importance of instilling in his players the toughness to challenge superstars, the discipline to maintain focus under duress, and the humility to recognize that every opponent, no matter how heralded, presents an opportunity for growth. In locker rooms where players are still measuring their wingspans against the legends who came before, Meta's anecdotes serve as a bridge between eras, a living archive of how intensity, when harnessed correctly, can tip the scales in the most fiercely contested matchups. For LeBron, those early challenges forged more than just physical adaptations. They cultivated a mindset of perpetual self-improvement. He often recounts reviewing game film late into the night, tracing every second of contact, every subtle displacement of his frame by the defensive force he encountered. Those nights of solitary analysis birthed the next iteration of his game, be it the refined Euro step that would later become a signature move, the quick-release jumper developed to neutralize shot blockers, or the strategic use of his frame to absorb contact and finish through elbows. Every wrinkle added to his repertoire was, in part, a tribute to that first encounter with a defender who refused to yield. And though time marches on, the rivalry lives on in memory and conversation. Young fans, raised on highlight packages and viral clips, may know LeBron for his gravity-defying drives and record-breaking score lines. But ask a veteran of the game and they'll recall the nights when Meta World Peace turned a routine contest into a defining chapter, a demonstration of how grit and determination on one side could sculpt greatness on the other. In interviews and podcasts, LeBron's voice still carries a trace of reverence when he speaks of artist's unrelenting approach, and Meta's own reflections brim with gratitude for a competitor who, in pushing him to his limits, unlocked the next level of a career that continues to astonish. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in what could become one of the biggest shakeups of the NBA offseason, whispers are growing louder around the league. Kevin Durant may have said yes to the Los Angeles Lakers. While nothing has been confirmed officially, sources close to the situation hint that Durant is open to joining LeBron James and Anthony Davis in purple and gold, a move that would send shockwaves through the league. The buzz began earlier this week when KD was spotted dining in Los Angeles with a prominent Lakers executive, though the meeting could easily be dismissed as a casual dinner. Insiders claim the conversation went far deeper, with Durant reportedly expressing serious interest in a potential move to the Lakers, not just as a basketball decision but as a lifestyle and legacy choice. Durant has long admired the Lakers franchise, often praising Kobe Bryant and the team's historic pedigree. With LeBron entering the twilight of his career and the Lakers hungry for another title, the possibility of bringing in a player of Durant's caliber could be the final piece of a new super team puzzle. And let's not forget, Durant still has unfinished business after disappointing exits in recent seasons. The desire to prove he can win again at the highest level is said to be burning inside him. Financially, the move would require some maneuvering. The Lakers would likely have to clear significant cap space or explore sign-and-trade options, possibly involving some of their younger assets, but for a player like Durant, those hurdles may be seen as worth overcoming. And with free agency looming, league executives are already preparing for what could be a wild summer. For now, it's just a rumor, a tantalizing one, but if the murmurings are true, and Durant does indeed say yes to the Lakers, the balance of power in the NBA could shift overnight. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.